Previously on Grumpy Eye. What is Star Citizen? Is it a scam or a revolution in gaming? And this was one of the most controversial things that I've said in that video, and it's one of my latest videos, and you can watch it if you didn't already. I think that you should because it's a really good video. And like for one side, it's controversial because people still think and people still like insist that Star Citizen is a scam. And on the other side, you have people that get like really angry whenever you mention that. So this is the video where I will lose a bunch of subscribers because I'm gonna talk about that, and the answer is not what you think that it's gonna be, so stay tuned and let me roll the intro.
Hello, my name is Grumpy.
Okay, so first off, I don't want to give you the wrong impression that I'm a financial specialist or that I have all the bills and evidence of CAG's expenses. I'm not a hacker, I have not hacked into their mainframe, I'm not an IRS guy, I do not know what their expenses are, I'm merely a music producer and a sound designer, and if anything, musicians are not really known to be that good with money. But I have done my research, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about all the research that I have done, and I'm gonna make a conclusion in the end. And if you don't want to wait for the conclusion, like TLDR is that no, it's not a scam, but yeah, just hear me out. So first off, let me read out what the definition of scam is on Merriam-Webster. Scam is defined as a fraudulent or deceptive act or operation. As a transitive verb, it is to deceive and defraud, or to obtain something such as money by a scam. Other synonyms for scamming are fiddle, flim-flam, fraud, hustle, shell game, sting, and swindle. How can Star Citizen be a scam when it's playable, even though it's in an alpha state? And I wouldn't really call it an alpha state, I would call it a business model because it is what it is. And how is it a scam if there's like 700 to 800 people working on Star Citizen currently, or Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, or inside the development team of Cloud Imperium Games? So first off, let me talk about how much would it cost just to rent the offices for all those employees in those like 5 places where they have offices at. Like there's going to be Austin, Texas, there's going to be Montreal, Canada, Frankfurt, Germany, UK, Manchester, and then we have Los Angeles, California. And on top of that, we have them, or CAG or Cloud Imperium Games, hiring other people from other companies or outsourcing so they can work on things such as Quanta. And we had Todd Pappy mention that in the last Star Citizen Live.
Basically, the game horizon and Tony have been focusing on other things.
Yeah. Game horizon, for folks who've never heard that term before, is
go ahead.
I was gonna,
you got it.
They're another company that we're working with that's helping us build Quantum.
So as I've said, let's try to figure out how much money would it take on a yearly basis to rent offices for all those people. So when we're talking about office space, we need to understand a few things. Office is a workplace that needs to be somewhere in the city center or close to it, or should I say, a place that is easily accessible for all the employees. It's usually the city center because employees may need to use the public transportation system to get to their workplace. So it isn't really logical to have it on the outskirts of the city or outside of town. Therefore, the closer you get to the city center, the higher the rental prices are. When you're picking a city for an office space, you pick it by researching where you can get the most value, or where the rental prices are low and where you can find the most or the best employees. You wouldn't really go to New York City Center to open up a farming equipment store, just as you wouldn't go to a third world country such as Serbia and its capital of Belgrade to get the best game developers. Sure, the rental prices are low, the workforce is cheap, but the best devs are leaving for UK or Germany. And I would know because I'm from Belgrade, Serbia. Now, on the topic of rental prices in major US and EU cities, I have done some digging, and there is a lot of info posted online. For example, in the States, the most expensive city to rent office space is New York, where the average price for office space per employee costs about $14,000 per year. And Atlanta is the most affordable city with an average yearly cost of about like 4,000 or just above 4,000 bucks per employee per year. So if we take an average out of those two prices, we get a number around $9,000 per person per year. Now, EU cities are not any different compared to US, so we can use that price as an average price that CAG is paying per employee per year just for renting an office space. And of course, I'm talking about the number of $9,000. Now, if we multiply that number with the number of 800 employees that CAG currently has, we can get an estimate that Cloud Imperium Games is spending around $7.2 million a year just for renting office spaces for their employees. The number is probably higher because this is just an estimate, as I said. And yes, they have been renting the same offices during the pandemic, even though they were mostly working from home. And if you're asking yourself, why just not work from home? The answer is simple. Game development is a creative job where people bounce their ideas off each other. And if they're not sitting next to each other, that could slow down the development even more. And you saw how things were slow throughout 2020 and 2021. So let's talk about the average salaries of developers around the world. And I'm gonna try to concentrate on like US, Canada, Frankfurt, and UK. And I have done some research and I have found out the minimum and the maximum wages for game devs in each of those countries and states. And then did some quick maths to get an average pay for a game developer per country or state. So in England, the average yearly pay for a game dev will be around $74,000. In Germany, it's a bit lower, around $40,000. In Canada, the average pay would be around $82,000. In Texas, it would be around $15,000. And in California, the average pay would be around $75,000 a year. So with some quick maths, I try to get the average pay out of all of those average salaries just so I don't have to bother with math that much on the long run. And I calculated that CAG pays their game developers around $77,000 a year. Obviously, I'm just faking this. Just for your pleasure, basically. Now, those $77,000 a year are obviously just an average and just my estimate. Junior devs are gonna get paid less, senior devs are getting paid more. But if you multiply that number with 800 employees, you get a number of $61,705,000 per year just for salaries. And if you add the $7.2 million a year for renting office spaces to the money that's getting spent on salaries a year, you get a whopping number of $68 million a year, roughly, of course. And that's, of course, just an estimate. Now, on top of that, you have programmers, you have people from the marketing team, you have video editors, you have a bunch of other people that you're gonna employ. And then on top of that, of course, you have people or companies that you're gonna outsource or that CAG is outsourcing, and we can't really know how much they're paying them. But on top of that, you need to understand that there's even more expenses. For example, renting servers from Amazon. Now, I tried to find the prices of renting Amazon servers, and since I'm completely retarded when it comes to programming, networking, and computers in general, I can say with most certainty that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I have found a price for a server with 96 virtual cores, and its monthly price was around $3,000. But that's just a single server, and you need more of them per region. And in the game, we currently have 3 regions that we can connect to. So let's say we only have 20 servers per region. There will be 60 servers for all regions, and when you multiply that with a price of $3,000 per month, and then multiply that with 12 months in a year, we get up to $2 million. And yes, those numbers may not be correct at all because I have no idea what I'm looking at. And of course, course, we have much more than 20 servers per region, because whenever a server fails or is full, we could spawn a new one. And then on top of that, we have different servers running different applications, such as the backend database or the Quantas simulation, and of course we have a different server just for chat. And those all cost money. How much? How the fuck do I know? Like, if you know it, just like write it down in the comments. If you have any idea about all of this, just write down in the comments below and tell me, like, how much does it cost to like rent servers from Amazon for a game of this scale for Star Citizen. Now, before you say that we need to call the cops on CAG, you need to understand that there are even more expenses that I didn't mention. And even these ones that I have mentioned are enough to understand how things are working in the gaming industry. And in the end, how much did Star Citizen actually make in the last year? Around $85 million. How much did they spend? A bit less than that. Because this is the first time that they have said that they have actually made some money instead of just covering the expenses, and that is why they are expanding. But wait, now because of them expanding, on top of that, they need to pay for the new equipment and the tables and the chairs and the coffee machines and the computers, all of which need to be amazing and much better than your top-of-the-line gaming computer. And then they need to make a new motion capture studio, and those are pretty fucking expensive. And from what I know, they currently have 2 or 3 of those. And on top of all of that, they need to have internal servers and NASs that are running on SSDs, because they're pulling a lot of data off of those NASs. And if you don't know what an NAS is, that's basically network accessible storage. So you have disks that are like connected to your network. Most of the YouTubers have those, but like those are really small, and most of them are like HDD. In this case, you would need to use like SSD drives, because like, yeah, you're pulling a lot of data across the country, or maybe like just even inside the studio. So yeah, those are really fucking expensive. I'm looking into buying one just with like SSDs, and those are really fucking expensive, even for like consumer uses. Imagine for like a big game, like a gaming studio, like development studio, those are like huge fucking racks that are in like climatized room, away, because they're loud as fuck and they're away from all the people. And yeah, like that all costs money, and that all costs a lot of fucking money. So how can you say that this is a scam, that Star Citizen is a scam, when you have all those people working their asses off, and all those, like all that equipment and all those like locations where they work at? That's basically like saying I want to rob a bank, and I have the most elaborate plan to rob a bank ever. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go there on an interview, and I'm gonna do my best, and they're gonna hire me, and I'm gonna be an employee of that bank. But like, here's the thing, I'm gonna work for that bank for 40 years, and then I'm gonna get to the pension, and then they're gonna pay me from the pension fund, and yeah, I've robbed them. Like how? Well, I worked there for 40 years and they paid me for working. Dude, like that is not a scam. That is not like what robbing a bank is. So therefore, this is not a scam. Star Citizen is not a scam. What it is, as I've said, is a really mismanaged project, and CAG, even though they are working their asses off, they are concentrating on completely different things from what we want them to concentrate on, and they're working on Squadron 42 while we are paying for Star Citizen, and that's it. That's basically it. Like there's not much more to it. It's not a scam. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not any of that bullshit. It is what it is. It is a business model. They are running a business. And a few people have commented on my channel that they're really pissed off because Chris Roberts made a lot of money. Like, first off, how do you know? My guess is that he is paying himself for being a CEO, a lead game development, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't matter. care. Even if he is, dude, I'm glad for him. Like, I'm really, like, he is building a good thing. He's doing it really fucking slowly, and it's getting, like, we're all getting to a boiling point because, like, all of that shit, like, it shouldn't take 10 years just to get to this point where we still don't have server meshing, where we still don't have, like, 90% of the game. Of course, that is not, like, you cannot dispute that. But is it a scam? It is not. Did he make some money? Probably. And like, why would you get mad if a guy made money from working on what he wants to work on and what he loves? Like, I want to make a lot of money from music, and Serbia is at that point that I can't really make a lot of money with music. So I stopped, and I'm doing YouTube now, and I'm making some money. And am I, like, are you gonna be like angry at me for making some money from YouTube? Like, what's the fucking point? Are you consuming my content? Yes, you are. Are you consuming Chris's content? Yes, you are. And then why would you get fucking angry because both of us made money? He made more, I mean, surely he made more, but like, why would you get angry? There's no fucking reason. If somebody makes it, don't be a dick and be like, he fucking made it because he must be running a scam and all of that. He's not running a scam. Is it a poorly managed project? Yes, it is. Is it business model that causes more harm towards us, the players, and like enriches them, even though they're not really getting like richer, they're just like covering their expenses basically. And all those ship sales that we saw in the past year were basically just for them expanding in Frankfurt and across the globe basically. So are they doing good? Yes, they are. Is the game doing good? No, it's not, and that's it. But like, you can't call it a scam. If you want to call it a scam, dude, inform yourself. Like, just like Google it and see what scam is, or just fucking watch this video. I just shown you that this is not a scam. That is it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. God damn it. Thank you to all my patrons for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, I would love you to support the channel, of course. And yeah, there's gonna be a link down in the description of the video, and you can support me through Patreon. And yeah, again, thank you for watching, guys. I love you, and don't forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space. And of course, don't forget to unsubscribe, because I called it a scam, but it's not a scam, but it's a scam, but it's not a scam. And I never thought it was a scam. And then some people are yeah, just fucking attack me in the comments because all of the shit that I said here, and tell me how wrong I am. Kisses, goodbye.